Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds over 3 years. If you do enjoy my video, make sure that you get subscribed to the channel. Click on that bell icon. Also click that like button on this video as well. Anthony's checking in saying, hello, Anthony. I hope you had a great weekend. If you would like to participate in on the discussion, you can join me in on these live streams, which I do most weekdays, or outside of the live streams, you can reach out to me through the Discord that we've created. There's a link to that down in the description below. Also down in the description below, there's a link to a Pinterest board. We get asked a lot of times, what food are we eating or what is our diet? And that Pinterest board has links to a lot of the recipes that our family enjoys on our whole food plant-based diet. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you are struggling to get started on your diet, what's keeping you from getting started? If you've fallen off your diet, what's keeping you from getting back on? And what are you doing to make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Today is day 548. That means we are just over the halfway mark of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. 18 months down, 18 months to go. I've lost over 210 pounds so far. That means I got about 90 to go till I reach my goal of 219.8. I am really happy with how things have been going so far. I want to thank everybody who's been following along and supporting me through this challenge so far. And I'm looking forward to the next 18 months. I think there's going to be some really big things coming for me with the diet and with the weight loss and everything. So thanks everybody for following along. We're going to switch over to the main page here. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. We really had nice weather here for the most part this weekend. It was rainy here and there, but nothing that ruined the day by any means. I think I took a couple photos here this was on Saturday here. I can share a couple photos from outside. If I can find the right button, there we go. So that is those bright blue skies there, overlooking our tiny little swimming pool and some of our yard mess, I suppose, as well. I think I took one other photo here of that is my kid's Minecraft thing that he took a picture of. This was my truck and my kids were outside playing on the trailer because anytime there's a new thing in the yard, they got to go and jump on it and play on it. We don't normally have that trailer there, so they were having fun jumping on and off of that. And so it was just a nice weekend here. I hope it was nice where you were as well. So I was able to get out a little bit and do some yard work, as you can see in that photo. I did have to go into work and do a couple things on Saturday and Sunday. So it was not a work-free weekend, but I was able to do some stuff at home, hang out with the kids, and had a lot of fun. And one of the things I've been talking about that I re-listened to the Pleasure Trap book. I had that played on at 2 times speed, so I got through the book very quickly, and I've actually already finished listening to the Pleasure Trap again. And one of the things that they talk about in the Pleasure Trap is working out. And I talked about this a little bit last week, but they talk about how your workouts should be regular. You should plan to get some form of exercise every day. That way, a 3-day-a-week workout routine doesn't turn into a 2-day-a-week, to a 1-day-a-week, to a no-time-a-week routine. So if you plan to do some sort of activity every day, that it is the best for your weight loss. The other thing that they kind of mention in the book, but they don't really elaborate on, but they say that those activities or that working out you are doing should be fun. They should be like play. And this weekend, I did get a chance to do that a little bit with the kids and Carrie. We got the soccer ball out and we played in the yard for a while, running around. I did a foot race with my kid at one point, my son at one point. Totally kicked his butt. Not really, but yeah, just having fun, being outside and working out was more play than it was working out. And I really did enjoy that. And I felt really great the rest of the day after kind of running around and doing that activity. And then yesterday, the activity I did was more work related. It wasn't so much play, but I was doing some gravel work at my office and got to play on the tractor a little bit and then doing some shovel work. But overall, it was more exciting and more fun than going to a gym, getting on a treadmill and staring at a wall for a half an hour while I ran, walked, or did some sort of activity in the gym. It was nice to be outside, running around with the kids and the family and getting my exercise that way. And they talk about that in the book. And if you listen to the doctors from the True North, the one always talks about basketball. They play basketball a lot. That's where they get their activity and they play games doing basketball. Hey, Carrie, hope everything's going great today. I was just talking about playing soccer with the kids and having fun doing those type of activities this weekend. So food-wise this weekend, I didn't take a whole lot of great photos, but I did take a few photos. Friday night's dinner was Chickpea Tikka Masala, one of our main staples that we enjoy at our household. The kids do pretty good with it, but definitely one of me and Carrie's favorite meals. I took a photo of this. This was a piece of sourdough bread that Carrie made. She has the sourdough starter that she's been making these breads. And I took a photo after I took a bite out of it. But one of the things that we had ordered online is this mustard that is salt, oil, sugar free. I think it's a company called Primo that we ordered their garlic habanero. We ordered their garlic and then we ordered their habanero. I don't know if it's called garlic habanero, but there was a garlic one and there was a habanero one. And the habanero is extremely spicy, but it is so good. And so I just put a thin layer of that on this bread and ate that for a snack on Saturday, and it was really good. In fact, I had to kind of cut myself off because I probably could have eaten a lot more, but my mouth was also a little bit on fire, so it wasn't the most something that really a little bit of that goes a long ways. And it was nice to find a mustard that's salt, oil, or a Dijon mustard that's salt, oil, sugar free, because they're not easy to find. And then looking through here, the only other photo I took, Carrie will love this. Carrie made some homemade chicken nuggets. So I don't know the exact recipe that these were, but essentially they were chickpeas, and then she coated them or she breaded them in low sodium Ezekiel bread. And then the sauce I have there is actually the garlic habanero sauce. The chickpea nuggets really had like no flavor. I mean, they were just, you could tell it was just this dense piece of chickpea. It was like having it was, instead of having like little garbanzo beans or little chickpeas, it was like having a chickpea in nugget size or in shape. And so the dipping sauce really helped a lot. That spicy sauce was very spicy again. And I don't know that was the best sauce. I mean, there's probably some great sauces we could have put on. In fact, I did have the rest of these on Sunday now that I think about it. And I used the sour cream sauce that Carrie had made that was pretty good with it as well. But really, like I said, the chickpea nuggets didn't have much of a flavor on their own. So whatever sauce you used was really going to be the flavor that you walked away with or that you got from the food itself. That's all the pictures of food I took. The other meals I can remember that we had was on, so those chickpea nuggets was Saturday's dinner. Sunday night, we had our mega veggie chili for dinner on Sunday night. Very good every time that we have it. And it's something where I always tell the story though, but you know, my kids, 3 out of 4 of them are now fans of the mega veggie chili. We're still working on that last one that's holding out. But I think that if we called it something else, maybe she wouldn't know that it was mega veggie chili, and then she'd actually try it and she might like it. So the next time we have it, we might call it something different, you know, just something other than mega veggie chili. Maybe, yeah, who knows? I can't think of anything creative off the top of my head right now. But that was dinner last night. And so that was the food from the weekend. Other than those dinners, I did have oatmeal one morning, maybe yesterday morning. I did not have oatmeal this morning. And then lots of cherry juice, lots of mandarin oranges, few apples and a banana or 2 over the weekend as well. Just kind of snack foods. And I did have some Ezekiel bread with nut butter. I had not had that for a week or 2, but the other day when we had salad, I got the stuff out, and then one of these days this weekend I had that as a snack. Though I don't think I overdid eating. I didn't come back into work today weighing really any more than what I was on Friday. I am satisfied with the amount of food I ate. I don't know that I'm going to hit that 300 pounds by Thursday. It would be really awesome to do it, but it's just going to be a lot to hit that by Thursday, and still maintain all of the work I have to do and the energy I'm going to need to do that work. But I'm going to get very close to 300 pounds, and hopefully by the following Wednesday, maybe I'll be saying I'm at 300 pounds. But just last week, having that 7-pound loss was huge. And I overall am feeling so good, regardless of what the scale says. When I lay down in bed, my stomach feels flat and sunk in even. You can feel my ribs a little bit. So it's kind of one of those things where I am not worried so much about the scale. I'll do what I have to do to try to get as close as possible to the 300 pounds, but I'm just happy I'm at where I'm at. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I'm halfway through this challenge. I'm over 200 pounds down. I really only have 90 pounds left to go. Like, it's so crazy that I'm far away, but I've come so far as well. And just the difference in me now versus when I first started this is wild, you know, just kind of incredible that I've been doing this for 18 months too. I mean, at this point, to say that I've been on a diet or I've been focusing on this for 18 months is really saying that I've stuck to something in regards to weight loss for twice as long as I ever had in my 20 years as an adult. I've never been able to sit here and say that I've been sticking to something for that long. Many times I would say, hey, I made it a month, or I made it a couple months, or really the longest I probably ever actually made it sticking to a diet was 9 months. I don't know that. In fact, I do know that I've never been past that point. And so it's been such a great experience for me so far to be sticking to it for this long. And that was the big goal about when I created this challenge. And I used to talk about this every time I would do an intro video, but it was the first and foremost thing with this challenge was that I was going to focus on my health and well-being for 3 years, because so many times in the past, I focused so hard on that weight, and I would do everything I had to do to hit that weight goal, and I would hit that weight goal, but nothing I ever did was sustainable for the long run. And so I'd hit that weight goal and then I'd be like, all right, now I can have all the stuff that I was depriving myself of so that I could get down to my goal weight. And then I just go back to my old diet and I would gain the weight back. And it would just be this awful cycle that all kinds of people go through. I'm not alone in this. I know that many people go through that same yo-yoing, and kind of it's been such a great experience this time, finding out all these new things and putting them to practice and having success in maintaining that success. Like, even though I can't say that I've lost a ton of weight over the last 9 months. In fact, I've only lost a few pounds over the last 9 months, technically, versus what my lowest was in August of 2021. But I'm still lower than I was August of 2021. And that is not something that I've ever done, regardless of the weight lose. Like, I'm either losing weight or I'm gaining weight. I've never been able to maintain any type of weight. So to be able to eat this diet, to be satisfied every day, to be happy with the food I'm eating, and to be able to be at my be maintaining that weight and not fighting it so hard that it's causing me any type of mental distress has been awesome. And I really feel like these past 2 weeks, that 7-pound loss last week was really awesome. And I'm hoping that I have a few pounds lost this week too. And that's really it's really shifted a lot in the way I feel. And I've talked about it a lot, but really outside of one day this year, since the beginning of 2022, I started at 332 pounds. So I've lost 25 pounds so far this year in the first 5 months. And I haven't been struggling. I've just been sticking to my diet. And when I'm on my diet, I feel great. It's something that it's like this. I'm just at peace with my diet. I don't worry about my diet being what is going to bring up my mood or change things for me. So Anthony says, thanks for these videos. They're inspirational. Gotta go. Best wishes. And yeah, awesome, man. Not a problem. Thanks for all your support, Anthony. You've been around for a long part of this, or a big chunk of this. And I really do appreciate you coming in, checking in, watching my videos, and being part of this whole process for me. It really motivates me to get on, and you definitely helped because you talked a lot about the plateaus and things like that. So you have a great day. And so, yeah, I really feel like I'm ready to hit the second half of this challenge, running, and it's going to be a good year and a half ahead, because I'm going to reach my goals in the next year and a half. And I am looking forward to that greatly. The other thing, I also want to thank everybody who is a subscriber to the channel. Last week, we hit the 500 subscriber mark, which means I unlocked the community tab on YouTube. And so I did post a photo today on the community tab. And I think that's another place where you guys can reach out to me. I'm not sure if it's open for other people to post on the community tab or just me, but it allows me to post photos on YouTube, which is nice, because I think that will be something that I kind of try to do more of. And I can also ask polls and things like that on the community tab. So it's really cool to hit that 500 subscriber milestone, I guess, for me. It's not a huge amount of people, but it's pretty awesome that there is a group of people that are following along with how I'm doing and excited to see me succeed. And again, huge motivator. I've talked about it before, but I think that the accountability that having this public platform has created for me has been a huge factor in my ability to stick to this or to stay with it. And a lot of times in the past, I would try to motivate myself and be like, okay, we're not going to eat any fast food today, or we're going to start eating healthy today. And the minute I found a reason to celebrate how I was doing, I would go have some junk food, have a cheat day, or um, just not be able to hold myself accountable. And then I would rely on Carrie and my family to try to hold some accountability for that. And it works well for a little while. Your family is willing to be your accountability for a little bit. But if they see that them calling you out isn't causing you to change your actions, then they're going to stop calling you out. And so you lose that kind of accountability, because a lot of times those family members you're hoping for accountability from, they love you and they don't want to see you unhappy. And so them hounding you about your diet will last maybe longer than holding yourself accountable, but it only is going to last for so long. And so having this channel, having people that I know are interested in how I'm doing and wanting updates has been a huge motivator for me. And again, I appreciate everybody that does follow along, watches these videos, and supports me as I do this. So, let me see the other. I talked a little bit about the Pleasure Trap book, but I did kind of speed listen to the Pleasure Trap book over the past week and a half. Again, so much stuff that I can take from that book and apply to life, whether it's diet or not. I really think that there's some good sections in that book that talk about different aspects of psychology and sociology. One of the biggest ones I always got from the book, the first time I read the book and the first time I listened to the book, that I really took to heart, was when they talked about when you're dealing with other people, and when other people are criticizing your diet or criticizing what you're doing, it's more of a reflection on them than it is what you're doing. And just how to just focus on what you're doing and not let them affect you in a negative light. And by also understanding that when you do give into those temptations, that temptation then has some form of control over you, because if you had control, then you wouldn't have made that poor choice. But since you made that poor choice, that kind of means that something affected you or something caused you to make that poor choice, which means that something was controlling you. And it can be a lot of different factors that cause you to make those poor choices. But when you realize that by holding firm to your values or to your diet, then you are just strengthening your resolve, and you're making it that much easier that the next time that you're faced with that same temptation, you can look back and say, hey, I got past that temptation a year ago. I got past that temptation 2 weeks ago. I got past that temptation an hour ago. This is what I did and I survived it. I can do it again. And that really helped with my with this diet for me, and sticking to it and staying on this health promoting diet versus a diet that is just trying to lose weight. And again, that is a huge part of this. Like, I haven't lost weight in the last 9 months overall, not much weight in the last 9 months, but I feel amazing. I really do. It's been something that I would not have expected, that eating a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet would be enjoyable. I mean, everybody who's not eating this diet or hasn't been on this diet for a couple months has this negative view of what the diet's going to be. And in reality, the diet has opened up my taste buds. It's opened up my mind to so many different possibilities for food. There's things that I wouldn't even give a shot before, that now to me, it's like, I try everything. I mean, as long as it's a whole food and it's plant-based, then I'm gonna give it any meal a shot. And many times I'm pleasantly surprised when I do actually start eating the meal. And the times when the meal isn't the best thing in the world, like those chickpea nuggets we had this weekend, it's food. And I know that I'm being nourished by that food, whether my taste buds say that it tastes amazing or not. I know that I'm using that food to get the energy that I need to get through the day. It's not that I need that food so that I can be in a good mood the rest of the day, or I need that food because I need some sort of comfort from it. And so it's been really awesome to be eating this diet. And from the start, I mean, it was not the diet that I thought I'd be sitting here talking about 18 months later. But I think that it's one of the only diets that I could have chosen that I would still be here at 18 months later. That was a big part of me starting this challenge. Was I saw there was two different examples I would see online. There was the people that had already succeeded in losing the weight and getting to their goal. And then they put up videos about what they did, which is great, but there's a lot that happened. Like, you just show me a before photo and an after photo and give me a 5-10 minute video about how you did it, then that's all that is out there about that experience or that whole weight loss that you did. There's only that amount of information out. And so for me, I wanted to create a journal of how I did from day to day or week to week, or, just progressing along the way. The other videos I would see were people that were starting off like I started at 500 pounds or at their top weight. And they would start off and saying, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to work out 5 times a week. I'm going to eat under 1,800 calories every day. I'm going to post videos. I'm going to live feed. And they plan to do all of these things. They went from being a sedentary 400-pound person, or in my case, over 500-pound person, to all of a sudden that they were just going to just blow the world away with all of this effort they were going to put in. And they start off, they do a couple videos here and there, or they might even do something for a month, but then after time, things start catching up with them and they lose focus and they have trials and tribulations that cause them to not be successful one week. So they don't want to get on and have to face the music. And for me, I was just like, I just got to get in front of a camera and give it 30 minutes a day or however much time I can give it. I actually do videos more often than I anticipated doing when I first started this. But for me, it's really something where I can fit it into my schedule, that I do a half hour to an hour long video, post my update, and just kind of tell how things are going for me. And by eating this diet, I feel like I've had the best chance at succeeding in maintaining a consistent weight loss, and then maintaining the loss that I've had and not yo-yoing back up and having issues. And I did have, I did tear my distal bicep tendon. I had hurdles that I've had to get over in the past 18 months. And again, the people that just show the before and after photos, you don't hear about those things. You don't see those things. And the people that start off like a race car, once they have those hurdles get in their way, they seem to disappear more. So I feel like I did start off crazy by doing an extended water fast. And I know that seemed like a lot, but effort wise, that was as little effort as possible. And they talk about this a lot in the Pleasure Trap book. But when it comes to weight loss and when it comes to medicine, everybody seems to think you need to add to your diet, or add this pill, add this workout routine, add something to your diet. And in reality, what you maybe need to do is start removing things, start removing the excess instead of adding things. And it's not, it's counterintuitive to think that by removing something that you'll have an improvement. But when it comes to your health and your well-being, that removal is what many people need. And I'm not saying you have to do an extended water fast, but you do need to you need to remove the processed foods from your diet. You need to remove the added oil from your diet. At the very minimum, remove oil from your diet. I would say that removing salt would be the next thing of the SOS free. And then for me, the sugar would be the least of the salt, oil, sugar free. But all three of them should be removed because we didn't evolve from a species that lived in an environment where there was added salt, oil, or sugar. We evolved from creatures that lived in the wilderness and they just ate what was available to them around in their surroundings. They didn't have these refineries where they could make this salt. They didn't have these industries that were creating, just mass producing this food. And they talk a lot about that. They talk about mass production in the book, and how that had an effect on us and our ability to have access to all this stuff. Another big part that they talk about in the Pleasure Trap book is the light, the fact that we have electricity, that we have a light bulb, and that we don't get enough sleep. And I do know that I've probably suffered from lack of sleep. Last night, I think it was probably midnight before I finally fell asleep, and I was up at 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning. And so I didn't get a ton of sleep last night, but I got a lot going on with work, and it's just hard to turn my brain off sometimes when I get thinking about those things. And it kept me up a little bit late last night. But overall, I have been trying to get more sleep and make that a priority, to not be up super late, because like they talk about in the book, sleep is not a thing that you can just make up. Get one good night of sleep and it makes up for 6 years of restlessness or 6 years of lack of sleep. You need to treat your sleep like you treat your weight loss. It takes time to catch back up and to get those hours back that you lost. You can't just do it in one night. So I have been trying to get better sleep overall, but I did enjoy the book, listening to it again. I'm still trying to figure out the next book that I'm going to read. If anybody has any suggestions, I'd love to hear your suggestions on books, but I also don't mind just listening to some music for a little bit and just kind of enjoying my car rides to and from work for a couple days before I figure out what I'm going to do. But this weekend I'm traveling, so I won't be live on Friday and I won't be live Monday, and I'll be in the car a lot. So I'm hoping I can figure out a book to listen to during that trip. But I'm going to get out of here today. Again, it's awesome to be halfway through this. I am excited for the next 18 months. Just got a little bit more weight to go and then I'll be at my goal. But it's just wild that I feel so good. And I don't feel like I'm not fighting I'm not fighting a temptation to just go wild with my diet. Like there's nothing from my old diet that I'm sitting here going, man, I wish I could have pizza again, or I wish I could have a cheeseburger from that place again. There's none of that. I don't have any desire for those things because I know that those things were keeping me from being as healthy as I could be. And the food that I'm eating now is getting me to a point where I can be as healthy as I can be. So make better food choices and you'll have a better life. So I'm out of here. If you haven't started your diet yet, what are you waiting for? Get started. If you need a sign to get started, let this be your sign. Get started right now. Don't wait. Whatever you got going on this week or this weekend, it's not more important than your health and your overall well-being, folks. Just get started now. Nobody gets to their goal and wishes they would have waited. Everybody gets to their goal and says they wish they would have started sooner. I wish I would have known 2 years ago how great I'd be feeling today. I wish I would have known. I would have started 2 years ago. If only I knew. And that's the way everybody that gets their goal feels too. And the other thing is, don't fall for the myths of moderation. I learned them from the pleasure trap, the myth of moderate consumption, the idea that a little bit of something is okay. If your goal is overall being as healthy as possible, then all of your choices should be towards that goal. And just a little bit of something you can handle it. You probably had a lot bit of that little thing that you want to have in your life, but a little bit of it is going to keep you just a little bit away from your goal. And if your whole focus is on reaching your goals, then you need to get rid of those things that aren't necessary. Also, the idea that we can eat a moderate amount of food, that you can eat less volume. If that was true, everybody would be thin because we've all tried to eat less food and it just doesn't work in the long run. We need to change the density of the food that you eat. Eat foods that have less than 600 pounds or 600 calories per pound calorie density, and you will start to see the weight fall off. The other myth of moderation is the myth of moderate change. The idea that you can slowly fight this pleasure trap world that we live in, all of these junk foods that are out there, by saying, hey, I'm going to start my meal with a salad today, or I'm going to have a better breakfast today. And then the rest of my day, I will slowly over time start changing things until I get to eating that perfect diet for me. And so many times people have tried that in the past, and before they ever get to the actual diet that their goal is, they've already given up and they've already quit. So don't let that be the case for you. Make a change now that is a permanent change, and it's just making the decision one time and not fighting yourself over it. I'm out of here, folks. You all have a wonderful day. We will be on tomorrow and Wednesday, and we're going to do instead of weigh-in Wednesday, I'm going to do weigh-in Thursday for my 40th birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. And I will see you guys all later.